The year 2025 has already brought some remarkable news for millions of seniors across the United States. For decades, Social Security has been a lifeline for retirees, widows, disabled individuals, and others who rely on monthly benefits to make ends meet. But today's update is something that many never expected: confirmation that qualified seniors will be receiving double Social Security payments in 2025. This historic move has sparked excitement, relief, and even a sense of renewed hope among older Americans who have been struggling with the rising costs of living. To understand the significance of this, we need to break down what it means, why it's happening, and how it will affect those who depend on these crucial payments. For years, Social Security recipients have faced a tough financial reality. Inflation has driven up the cost of housing, groceries, medications, and utilities, but monthly checks have often failed to keep pace. Even though annual cost of living adjustments, or COLAs, are applied, seniors have long felt that their purchasing power is shrinking. A loaf of bread that once cost $1 may now be nearly $3, and the same goes for countless other essentials. This widening gap has left many older Americans making impossible choices between paying for prescriptions or heating their homes, between covering rent or putting food on the table. The announcement of double payments is therefore more than just a financial boost. It's a recognition of the hardships faced by this community. Officials confirm that the plan is not a temporary measure or a one-time stimulus check, but rather a structured policy change aimed at stabilizing the financial footing of seniors. It means that instead of receiving just one check per month, eligible Social Security beneficiaries will see a second payment deposited into their accounts each cycle. For a typical retiree who currently receives around $1,800 per month, this could mean a yearly increase of more than $20,000 in additional income. That kind of change can turn survival into comfort, anxiety into security. It can mean a better diet, proper medical care, and even the ability to enjoy some of the pleasures of life that many have had to forego. But how did this major policy shift come about? Pressure has been building for years as advocacy groups, economists, and lawmakers pointed out the unsustainable reality of seniors living on stagnant benefits. Reports showed that nearly half of all retirees depended on Social Security for the majority of their income. Without intervention, many were at risk of slipping into poverty despite having worked and paid into the system their entire lives. The Double Payment Initiative reflects both political will and public demand, showing that senior welfare is no longer an issue that can be postponed or ignored. It's the result of negotiations, lobbying, and a widespread acknowledgement that the current system needed urgent reinforcement. Of course, there are questions about how the program will be funded. Social Security is supported by payroll taxes, and analysts have long warned about potential shortfalls as the population ages. However, the government has introduced a series of measures to strengthen the program's financial base. Adjustments in tax thresholds, shifts in federal budget priorities, and improved collection methods are all playing a role. Additionally, economic growth and changes in workforce participation have given policymakers more flexibility. While critics warn about long-term sustainability, proponents argue that seniors cannot be asked to carry the burden of structural adjustments any longer. After all, they contributed to the system for decades under the promise that it would take care of them in retirement. For seniors themselves, the double payments are more than just numbers. Imagine an elderly widow who has been living in a small apartment, scraping by on a modest benefit. Suddenly, she can afford not just the basics, but a little breathing room, maybe healthier meals, maybe a few visits to see her grandchildren in another state. Or consider a couple who worked hard all their lives, but found themselves squeezed by medical bills. This new policy could help them cover their expenses without falling into debt. These are the kinds of stories behind the headlines, and they reveal why this change is so monumental. Yet, the update also comes with a wave of confusion. Many seniors are asking, who qualifies? When will the first double payments arrive? What steps do they need to take to ensure they don't miss out? Officials have been clear that the rollout will be automatic for those already receiving benefits. Recipients will not need to fill out new forms or reapply. The additional payment will simply show up in their accounts. For those approaching retirement in 2025, the process will align with their normal application for benefits, and once they qualify, they too will receive the doubled schedule. This clarity has reassured many who feared they might be left out. The timing of the double payments could not be more significant. Over the past several years, seniors have faced mounting challenges due to economic instability, inflationary pressures, and the lingering aftereffects of global disruptions. While wages for some sectors of the workforce have risen, those living on fixed incomes have had little relief. The result has been a growing disparity between younger, active earners and retirees whose spending power has eroded year after year. The introduction of a second monthly payment is not only financial relief, it is a symbolic acknowledgement that society values the contributions of its elders and is committed to protecting their dignity. For many seniors, this policy shift will transform the rhythm of daily life. Instead of anxiously waiting at the end of each month to stretch their limited funds, they will now have more frequent support. Two deposits mean more flexibility, less stress, and greater ability to manage unexpected expenses. For example, if a car repair, medical bill, or household emergency arises mid-month, the knowledge that another payment is only weeks away will provide peace of mind. It may also encourage more local spending, with seniors able to support businesses in their communities by dining out occasionally, purchasing gifts for loved ones, or investing in services that improve their quality of life. Economists are already analyzing the broader impact of this change. With millions of seniors receiving additional income, consumer demand is expected to rise, which could provide a boost to local economies. Grocery stores, pharmacies, and healthcare providers in particular may see a surge in activity. There are also potential ripple effects for housing markets, as seniors may now be in a better position to afford stable living arrangements. Some analysts predict that increased financial security could even reduce reliance on other forms of government assistance, such as food stamps or energy subsidies. In this sense, the double payment system may serve as both a social safety measure and an economic stimulus. Naturally, the policy has sparked debate. Supporters argue that it is a long overdue correction to a system that has failed to keep pace with modern realities. They highlight the moral obligation to ensure that older Americans can live without fear of poverty or neglect. Critics, on the other hand, worry about the strain on federal budgets and the possibility of accelerating the depletion of Social Security reserves. They point to the need for broader reforms, such as raising the retirement age or altering the payroll tax cap. While these debates will continue, one thing is certain. For seniors currently relying on their checks, the double payments are an immediate blessing. The human response to this announcement has been powerful. Across senior centers, retirement communities, and family gatherings, conversations are filled with relief and optimism. Many seniors speak of the ability to finally plan ahead, whether that means setting aside savings, helping a grandchild with education costs, or simply enjoying small pleasures without guilt. There is also a sense of vindication, as this policy recognizes the decades of hard work and tax contributions that retirees have already made. Instead of feeling forgotten, they now feel prioritized. Looking ahead, the implementation process will be carefully monitored. The Social Security Administration has assured recipients that the system is prepared to handle the increased frequency of payments without disruption. Banking institutions have coordinated with federal agencies to ensure that deposits are processed smoothly. Educational campaigns will continue throughout the year to make sure that all eligible individuals understand the change and can access their benefits without confusion. Transparency and communication are central to maintaining trust, especially among a population that may be more vulnerable to misinformation or scams. There is also an emotional and psychological dimension to consider. Financial security is closely tied to overall well-being, and seniors who feel supported are more likely to remain active, engaged, and healthy. Studies have shown that stress related to money can exacerbate health conditions, reduce mental clarity, and diminish quality of life. By easing these burdens, the double payment program could indirectly improve public health outcomes, reducing pressure on healthcare systems in the long term. In this way, the initiative is not just an economic policy, it is a public health strategy. As 2025 unfolds, this landmark decision will be remembered as a turning point in the story of Social Security. For decades, discussions around the program were dominated by concerns about deficits and sustainability, often overshadowing the lived experiences of those who depend on it most. The confirmation of double payments shifts the narrative toward compassion, responsibility, and recognition of seniors' needs. It suggests that, despite political divisions, there remains a common ground when it comes to protecting the nation's most vulnerable citizens. In the months to come, seniors will begin to feel the impact in their daily lives. The relief of knowing that bills can be paid, that food will be on the table, and that medical care will be accessible will lift a heavy weight from their shoulders. Families, too, will benefit, as younger generations may no longer need to step in as frequently to provide financial assistance for their parents or grandparents. The ripple effect of this change will touch not only individuals, but also entire households, communities, and regions. Ultimately, the confirmation of double Social Security payments in 2025 represents more than just policy, it represents hope. It is a promise kept to those who built the foundations of today's society, who worked, contributed, and sacrificed over a lifetime. It is a signal that their country has not forgotten them, and that their twilight years can be marked by comfort and security rather than struggle. As seniors look forward to their first doubled checks, the nation looks on with gratitude, recognizing that this is not only good news for older Americans but a step forward for all.